Hey guys, I've had several readers and viewers reach out to me recently to ask me what I mean when I say life isn't about you. It's not personal. Even the experience that looks so very personal to you is not personal. It's not about you. And what I mean when I say that is that life and all these experiences arising moment by moment, life is not about the you that your mind has created, the story of you, the story of who you are, what kind of person you are, what happened to you in the past, what's going to happen in the future, what something means, what a person means, what an experience of failure means about you, means for your life, what an experience of disappointment means about you or for your life. Your mind, that adorable little prefrontal cortex narrator that talks all day long and says in one moment, "Oh, you're awesome. You did great. Good job. That means you've come a long way. Way to go." And then the very next hour or day says, "God, you totally ruined that. What a screw up you are. You know, if you would have," and then it'll come up with all these past things you should have done. If you would have gone to college, if you would have married so-and-so, if you would have not done these things, you'd be a different person, a better person. The same mind that flip-flops back and forth to yay you and you suck, we have come to believe that little narrator as that's who we are. So when I say life is not about you, experience is not about you, I mean that it's not about that tiny little sliver of you that you believe yourself to be. That teeny speck of a body, a mind, a personality that you have innocently taken to be your whole self, your true self, your real self. Experience is not about that tiny version of you. It makes me think of like old school maps, or even Google Maps. You know how it'll have like a blue line for a river or a dark line for an interstate. It's like looking at that blue line, that representation of, say, the Mississippi River, and believing you can get wet in that. You can put your finger in it and feel the water. This story of you that your mind tells all day, every day, and has been for your whole life, it only knows the tiniest fraction of the truth and the reality of who you are. And then it's so compelling and convincing, it turns around and says, and that's the truth. It's like saying the blue line on Google Maps is the Mississippi River, and you can put your finger in it and splash around and get wet. The story of you that is so compelling, it's not you. So when life happens, when an experience happens, even a big one, even a catastrophic one, it's not personal because it is simply an event arising in the stream of life. It's part of the natural flow of life. And yes, even the things we have been conditioned and programmed to believe are horrible, and on this little realm of human experience that's like this big, it is. I'm not dismissing, discounting, diminishing really hard experiences that people go through. And there are a lot of them. What I'm suggesting is, beyond that tiny realm of human experience that our mind makes meaning of and says this is about you and this is happening to you, what if we just back up a tiny bit and open up, be curious to what is beyond the meaning our little adorable mind is making. One of my favorite quotes is by Dr. Stutz. He's a professor of psychology or psychiatry. And he says something like, the greatest thing he ever saw was that he discovered not to ever judge reality, based on his own experience, because there's something so much more going on. I would invite you, if you're curious to see why life is not personal, why experience isn't personal, just start playing around with it. Just be open and curious to seeing something new. What if life, moment by moment, is energy arising, and then it's passing, it's moving, it's shape-shifting, and we are part of that experience. We're not a separate entity having an experience. We are just simply part of the ebb and flow of life. Not separate from it, part of it. So it can't be personal. Life is about life. Life is not about the story of who we think we are. I hope that helps a little bit. Feel free to reach out with any further questions and I'll try to articulate it a little better. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.